I recently saw a video where a woman was celebrating that she had lost 12 kilograms, a little over 26 pounds, and without working out at all. And several people in the comments were saying like, see, it's possible, you don't have to work out. And technically, it's true. If you eat fewer calories than what you burn, you'll lose weight. This is just how weight loss works. But while I was watching this video, one thing really stood out for me. Almost none of the foods that she showed that she had been eating while losing weight really had much protein in them. And this is really important to pay attention to because losing weight and changing and improving your body composition can be two different things. Here's what I mean. You can lose weight and still not look as good as you thought you would because you were not paying attention to what kind of weight you were losing. Was it fat or was it muscle? And I think this is the biggest thing that women misunderstand about fat loss. So many women are only focused on getting the number on the scale down. But what they actually want, like really want, is to look leaner, look more toned, aka muscular, even though they call it toned. They want to be firmer. They want to look more athletic. They want to look more defined. And those things require muscle. So today I want to explain the difference between calories and macros for weight loss, why protein matters so much, and why strength training is so important if you want to look toned, not just lighter on the scale. Now first, let me be really clear about this. Calories absolutely matter for weight loss. You do need a calorie deficit to lose weight. But the problem is when you only focus on calories. A lot of women think that if I only stay under this number X calories, then I will lose weight. And unfortunately, a lot of the times it's like 1,000, 1,200 calories, way too low. You're not a toddler. So yes, you can lose weight by simply keeping the calories very low. It is possible. But the big question is, what kind of weight are you losing? Because ideally, we want to lose body fat. We don't want to lose muscle mass. They're two different tissues. And if you're not paying attention to your protein and macros, then you might be losing muscle. And that's why you're not going to get the look that you wanted. So let me explain you the difference between calories and macros. Think of calories like money, and macros are how you spend your money. Let's say we give 3 people $500. Each one of them gets $500. One of them might buy clothes. The second one might buy groceries. And the third one might go different concerts and use that money on concert tickets. Same amount of money, totally different outcome. Calories work the same way. Let's say that we give each one of these people 500 calories to use. One of them would eat candy and pastries. It's not hard to do to eat 500 calories worth candy and pastries. The second person eats vegetables and meat. And the third one maybe goes wine tasting and uses all their calories on tasting wine. I don't recommend that. So again, totally different outcome. Just like with the money. You could give $500 to 3 people and they all go and buy different things. Or you could give 500 calories to 3 people and they all use these calories in different ways. So calories tell us how much energy is in foods. And macros tell us what these foods are made of. The 3 main macros are protein, fat, and carbs. And all of these macros make up the calories, the total calories you eat in a day. Each macro has a different role in the body. Protein helps you build muscle, maintain muscle, and it also keeps you full. Carbohydrates give you quick energy. You need them for working out for sure. And fats support our hormones and our brain health. So the types of macros that we're eating, they matter too. It's not just the calories. And this is exactly why tracking your macros, if you have a weight loss, fat loss goal, is so important. Just a quick note here, if you want to find out how many calories and how much protein you need for your personal goals, go ahead and get my calorie setup guide. You can find it in the description. And this guide will help you to find your calorie goal, your protein goal, and where to start based on your specific goals. So go ahead and get that free guide. Now let's get back to the video. Now let's talk about protein specifically. It's very important to understand this because protein is usually the macro that women tend to undereat the most. At the same time, that's the most important macronutrient in order to change your body composition, put on more lean body mass, your muscle, and then lose fat mass. Unfortunately, this is what a lot of women rely on. Lots of coffee, random snacks, salads, toast, smoothies, all kinds of healthy snacks throughout the day. But none of these foods really has much protein. You don't see meat, eggs, Greek yogurt in this list. But protein is so important for fat loss because, like I mentioned before, when you're in a calorie deficit, your body is not only able to lose body fat, it can also lose muscle mass, and you don't want that to happen. And if protein intake is low, then your chances of losing muscle mass are higher. That's why simply eating less, cutting more calories is not always the best approach. Because if you lose a lot of muscle and some fat, then you may end up looking smaller, but still kind of soft. You don't have the definition you wanted, you don't have the tone you wanted because you lost your muscle mass. And again, muscle is the only thing that can give you the shape you want. Muscle is what creates that lean and athletic and toned look that everybody's talking about and want. So protein will really help you keep you fuller longer, support your recovery, support your metabolism, and make fat loss so much easier to do and also maintain. So if there's one macro that women should really start to prioritize if they want to lose body fat, it is protein. And talking about muscle mass, we can't not talk about strength training. Because another huge misconception women have is that, well, if I can lose weight without weight training at all, why would I weight train? It's so much easier without having to work out. And the answer is you need to strength train because that determines what your body is going to look like when you lose weight. You don't need to be a bodybuilder. You do not need to spend 2 hours at the gym every day. If you're a beginner, 30 minutes, 3 days a week is perfect. And check out the video I did on that topic. It's also linked in the description. But when you strength train, you're giving your body the reason to keep that muscle on you. No amount of calorie cutting will give you the shape that you want. And also no amount of cardio training will give you the shape that you want. The shape only comes from lifting weights. So if someone wants more definition in their arms, more shape in their legs, a stronger glutes, better looking glutes, a firmer stomach, a lifted look overall, then that requires lifting weights. And this is why strength training really matters if your weight loss is your goal and you want that weight loss to also look great. One of my clients recently told me something really cool. She said, I'm so surprised how different my side-by-side pictures look, even though I've only lost 8 to 10 pounds. Looking at the pictures, I would think that I have lost a lot more. And that perfectly illustrates what I've been talking about today. Because yes, the scale changed only about 8 to 10 pounds, but visually her body changed dramatically. And that's because she wasn't only focused on cutting the calories and losing as much weight as possible, she was focusing on improving her body composition. The 3 things that she did really well were, yes, she was in a calorie deficit, she ate high protein while being in a calorie deficit, and number 3, she lifted weights throughout this process. And she still does. This combination is incredibly powerful because instead of simply becoming smaller, she became leaner and more defined. And this is why 2 women can lose the exact same amount of weight and end up looking completely different. The person who didn't eat high protein and who didn't strength train will be very different from a person who kept the protein high and lifted weights. The first person is likely going to look maybe thin and doesn't have any muscle tone, and the second person will look so much more toned, so much more athletic, fitter, and have that shape that everybody wants. So same weight loss, totally different body composition. Now this next point is very important too. People often say, oh yeah, I get it. Muscle weighs more than fat. It's not true. Muscle cannot weigh more than fat. 1 pound of muscle weighs exactly the same as 1 pound of fat. The difference is in density. Muscle is denser and more compact. Fat takes up more space. Check this out. Here I have a bag full of cotton balls. Now compare that to a pound of meat. And of course, this bag is not even close to a pound, but it's still much bigger than this. So the truth is, cotton, just like fat, would just take up more space. So when you are doing the right thing and eating high protein and lifting weights, you're going to put on more of this more dense tissue, which is your muscle. And that's why you may look smaller, even though your weight loss may not be as massive as you maybe thought it should be. So when women increase protein, they strength train, they often look dramatically leaner, even though there's not a huge change on the scale. So this is why some women stay around the same body weight, but they drop clothing size, or they suddenly look so much more defined and lean. That's because they changed the composition of the body and they didn't only obsess about the number on the scale. Overall, women have been taught to obsess about the scale way too long. But the scale just tells you the total body weight. It doesn't tell you what this weight is made of. It doesn't tell you how much muscle you have, how much body fat you have. It doesn't tell you if you're getting stronger or whether your body composition is changing. And at the end of the day, nobody sees your scale weight. People notice how your clothes fit, your posture, your shape, your confidence, your energy, and how strong and healthy you look. They do not see the number on the scale. So instead of only focusing on a number, get really dialed in and focus on the following. Am I getting enough protein? And get that guide that I told you about before. Again, it's in the description. It's called the Calorie Setup Guide. So focus on your protein intake. Focus on your strength. You got to work out so that you're getting stronger. Focus on your progress photos if you choose to take them. Check out your measurements. See how your clothes fit and how you feel. Because these things tell you a bigger story than the scale number ever can. So yeah, you most likely are able to lose some weight even without working out, even without lifting weights. But weight loss alone should not be the only goal. If your goals are to look leaner, firmer, stronger, more toned, and healthier overall, then calories are only one piece of the puzzle. Macros matter too, especially protein. So remember, it's not only about losing weight, it is about changing what your body is made of. And we always want to increase muscle mass and lose fat mass. If this video helped you today, please leave it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel, and check out the next video as well.